All right, ready to go?
Go, mate. All right, welcome everyone again to Get This Rugby podcast, episode 19, finals time. Is our main man, the great Chew. How are you, mate?
I'm good, Greg. Hello to everyone watching, and we're at the pointy end and Get This Rugby. 18 rounds have gone. It's gone surprisingly quick in some ways, I think.
Yeah, it has. It's been a roller coaster season, to be honest. Up and down teams, some real disappointments we'll talk about coming up. But mate, so the first thing we want to talk about, so the East decision was handed down last week. I think it was after we did our podcast, and
yeah, it was on Thursday night or something, wasn't it?
Friday, almost Friday night.
Friday,
and, hit with a wet lettuce, 5 points, which I think they could have probably gone 10 or 15, to be honest.
That seems to be the story, wasn't it?
And you know what, I might make a point here that the main issue I've got with it is the lack of leadership by the SRU, the lack of any balls, or should we say vagina, to actually make a decision in the first place. And they could have alleviated all the problems if they made the decision, but they were too gutless. Let's be honest.
I think that's exactly right, Greg, because it always used to be, as I've said before, you knew where you were. If you were 1 point over, you got your points docked immediately. That end of story, no appeals. It just happened. Now, for the way it all unfolded, it stinks to high heaven, and it made exactly that, like your point, there was no leadership in it. Why did it fester on? Why wasn't it dealt with immediately like everyone else gets dealt with immediately? So that gives you the smell straight away. And the SRU have brought this all upon themselves by not acting how they should have acted.
That's right. They've only got themselves to blame. And you know, I even wanted to bring up that point. Like last week, East played West, and they're on 99 player points, so they're skating on the edge. They want to be very careful during the finals, I'll tell you, because I don't know. Is this how they think they're going to win a premiership, by pushing the boundaries to the nth degree? I don't know.
Well, the way it's been looking, it was looking like they get away with whatever they wanted to do. And see, that's the problem. And that's why they've got a problem with all the other clubs, because it hasn't been an equal playing field, because everyone else knows what happens to you. And it didn't happen on this occasion. And like, good luck to East, they're where they are, but you know, it's got a thing attached to it now, and I think, look, they've had a great year and they've done very well, but when you've got this thing hanging over your head now, and everyone's going to want to beat you, and I think one of the other reasons that anyway, go on, Greg. I'll get on to that later. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, apparently one of the East guys was upset because they didn't like the way that the East were treated at the Ken Catchpole medal, which apparently their feelings were hurt, mate. So,
well, that's what brings what I was about to say. I think this year, I've watched every game East played this year, and quite frankly, the way they carry on the field, mouthing off it, every single tackle, ruck, really childish, juvenile stuff, that's what's pissing every other club off. I'm telling you. Playing against them, you know, and then they want to throw handbags. I know a number of the coaches have spoken of it. Everyone's just not happy with them, just through this. I don't know what the, like. I'll tell you, if I was playing in a team like that, it carried on like that, I'd be telling them to shut up. It's overtly offensive, most of the stuff they carry on with. It's just nonsense, you know.
And it's really, and you know, they're good enough to win.
So that's where their problem's coming from. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's right. Because the other teams are seeing them as a bunch of knobs. Let's be honest. Like, I want to offend people, but you know, that's just the way it is. And you know what? And if I was them, I'd have a good look at yourself and just focus on your own football and get the job done, because they're good enough to do it. So Anyway.
Good football team, good players. Get on with it without all the crap that goes on. Fair
yeah. So anyway, well, let's have a look at the
Anyway.
last round, Stu. So we had East 48, West Harbour 17.
Yep.
The score was a bit deceptive because it was quite close for quite a while.
Yeah.
More the second half, East got away with it, but West were really having a crack in the first half.
Yeah, they did.
I think it was 17-10 for a while.
It just showed like class team what they can do, and it's probably been West's problem all year. They had a couple of really good games where they went all right, and it's usually because other teams weren't playing as well, but they showed glimpses a lot, but just couldn't. They couldn't play for 80 minutes, and they finished last this season. So a club that should be coming a lot higher than where they are had some big news, Greg, didn't they?
Yeah, a brand new coach next year, and Phil Blake, one of the best coaches going around, really. Like he's been coached at high level.
I don't know whether it was last year's at Para or I think it might have been, or maybe one of the early years at South. And so it took a long time ago, and he'd retired from rugby league at that stage, and he came down on I'm not sure whether he did defensive drills one night or a couple of different things. It was on a couple of occasions, and I thought then that he was one of the most impressive coaches I'd had for I don't know how long, if not ever, and he was a real nice fella as well, and he's been around doing stuff, and you know, he's got a hard job in front of him.
He's definitely got a job, mate. But yeah, onto that, like he was assistant coach at the Wallabies for a while. He's coached in the UK himself. He was at the Queensland Reds recently. I know when he was at Manly a couple of years ago, everyone at Manly was so impressed with him, and he's coached there before as well. So he's got a lot of experience. But let's not sugarcoat it, mate. He's got a massive job there at West.
Well, he has, but he's also got what I believe to be the sleeping giant in Sydney, because I believe West should be in a lot better place than where they are now.
Yeah,
they've always had plenty of money. They've got one of the greatest setups. They've got their own gym. They've got their own ground there. They've got 2 other training facilities. They've got close ties to all the schools in the area. They've had everything going their way, particularly with Paraboom Week, Penrith gone. West right now should be dominating, and they've underachieved for so long, and I think that's probably because of the leadership in the club, maybe, let's say. They should be a lot better than what they are, and I just hope they give Phil the freedom to get on with it and just leave him alone,
Yeah, no, that's right. And, give him the resources. And, I mean, what they really need, and, I mean, I don't know if it can happen, but West really need a premiership. That's what they need.
If I don't think they've had one since about 1925 or something.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If they could get one, they would become a powerhouse again.
Mate, they've got some good young players there at the moment, I believe. Some real outstanding young players, I think, and it's just about keeping them coming from the bottom up and getting some Colts in there and bringing some fellas through. And you told me Phil's signed for 2 years. Well,
2 years, yeah.
I just hope he makes it to the end of 2 years, because they have a tendency of making it hard for people.
That's right. No, we can only wish him well.
For sure, man. I really want to see him go well.
Certainly a club I've always admired, West. Good people.
Oh, mate.
Great volunteers.
Never had any problems with them, and I just wish they were going better than they are, and hopefully this will do the trick.
Yeah. So East finished on top of the ladder, even despite their 5 points. So they, you got to suppose take your hat off the 14 wins.
Yep.
It's been a good year for them. You can't.
How many wins was it?
14. So they lost
That's
4
a good
games.
season, man.
Yeah, anytime you get 14. So and that's despite losing 5 points. So and they've won 6 out of 7 minor premierships in the grade. So you got to take out a championship.
They've had a sensational year. Like they've obviously got a lot of cattle there, but yeah, the results are there. You can't take it away.
That's it.
Good luck.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so that was that game. The next game was Gordon and 2 Blues at Chatswood. Gordon 52, 2 Blues 34. Now Gordon took it a long time in this game to put them away, Pete.
Yeah, we sort of predicted this, didn't we? That Para be tough and be confusing and be erratic and score off break and play, and Gordon didn't need to turn up and not, think they were going to win, and all of those things happened.
Yeah, that's right.
And then it was like Gordon eventually just showed the class and did what they had to do, and Para were quite happy to see the end of the year, I think, and I think Gordon were pretty happy to get out of it, got the win, did what they had to do, and move on.
Yeah, well, it went back and forward all day. I mean, it was 34-33 to 2 Blues, and then Gordon scored the last 19 points, as you say. With I tell you, I've got to give a rap to the young halfback that they brought over from the UK, Joe Snow. Geez, he goes all right when he comes on. He makes a real difference.
Yeah, he did.
He's got a tough decision around halfback in the finals, the Gordon coach.
Yeah, well, looks like Gordon are going to have a pretty good bench for the finals, and that could be very interesting, I think. Yeah,
but, and on that, congratulations to the Gordon coach, Harry, joint coach of the year with Steve Hoyle. So great.
Whatever joint coach means, but
same.
Yeah, yeah, good stuff. He had a great year.
You met him at Coogee, mate. Where did he say he was from? Limerick, over in Ireland. So
I think he said he was from Limerick, Munster boy. So had a lot of encounters down there. I enjoyed my time down playing against him. I was playing in Galway and Connick, but one thing about the Munster boys, they're tough dudes, and I think it's shown in the way they're playing too. They're very direct, and I like the style of Gordon are playing. They'd be a fun team to play for, particularly for me being a prop.
Yeah, I just think he seems a really good bloke, but he seems a really good coach, and the players speak well of him. So, mate, I'm interested to see where he's going to go with his coaching career. Mate, what do we say about the 2 Blues in the end? I mean, they've had some games.
I'm wearing a shirt from Para and I'm wearing a shirt from South.
I mean,
I went to the gym and both this shit was free, so I've got to wear it. But this actually says Parramatta on it, which it should still be. Right?
That's what we say, isn't it? Yeah.
Look,
so they finished
I'm very, very worried about Parramatta, or Western Sydney, whatever you want to call them. I'm very worried whether they'll survive the whole of next year. I don't know what you reckon, Greg. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it's concerning. I just don't like the way it's progressing, because we just can't keep importing players. They've got to start getting some local players. That's what I worry about.
Last Saturday, they just lost their whole team again, pretty much. And they got nothing coming through. They got nothing in second grade. They didn't win a game.
Yeah.
Third grade's non-existent, and the Colts are terrible. So you can't sustain the way they're doing things at the moment. It just can't go on like that. And I don't know, like, you chuck $1 million at them, it isn't going to fix the problems the way they're doing it. They're doing it all the wrong way around. They've got to build from the ground up, and they're not even. I don't think that's even in the agenda over there, and it's just about trying to get results each week. And I really fear for their future. at the moment. And if anyone can tell me different, please do.
Yeah, I can't disagree. And you know, they finished 8th, 7 wins, and really that's probably as good as they could have gone. They lose too many players every year. They lost, you know, 26 players last year, beginning of last year. So,
but look, they've been finishing 8th, 9th, 10th for years and years now, with the biggest budgets sometimes and the biggest wastes of money sometimes, and they still haven't developed a junior. They're not bringing people through. They're not doing all the things that they should be doing from years ago to be somewhere now, and just trying to prop up the team in first grade next year by getting another bunch of blokes from New Zealand or something. It doesn't work, and it's not going to work. Like when I went to that South game a couple of weeks ago, there's like 20 people there.
Yeah.
And it's sad, but you know, I think a couple of years ago they should have done something about it, and they haven't. And I'm really worried about them this year. And man, I've played a long time, man.
Played a lot of games there, mate. And you know, the coach has just re-signed for 2 more years. Well, mate, the heat's on him. He's got to fix it. He's got to do something. He's got to do more than he's doing. So
well,
I see it. And
and they need more than just a coach. They need some people behind doing the stuff that makes clubs successful, which is, you know, good board members who are in charge of different departments in the club and doing stuff. And like, I wouldn't imagine that Parramatta's run a junior development thing anywhere in the western suburbs, which is all theirs now.
That's right. Yeah.
Western Sydney, apparently. And
so this is, I know we're going to talk about it soon, but I don't understand why they never went after Darren Coleman. I mean, if they want to turn a joint around, that's the sort of bloke you get in. He's going to give you immediate success, but they didn't even look at him, apparently.
Yeah, it's just, well, you know, look, we know what it's all about, and unfortunately, it's probably going to spell the end of them, I reckon.
Yeah, possibly. So, so just flicking back to Gordon for a second, mate. The Gordon are up to this competition into their necks, mate. Right there, they finished 4th, but only by 2 points, mate. They're a massive chance of winning this comp. Do you agree?
Well, yeah, I do. I've said that for a long time. I really like the style of play, and I think it's really semi-final winning football, the way they, especially when they play the way they, I think they went off the plan a bit when they played Randwick in that really, really good game.
Yeah.
Their defence is good, and they play direct and run on the ball hard, and they keep it simple and play field position. If they do that in the finals, they're going to be very hard to beat. And I just love the way they've gone about business this year. And, you know, they're one of them teams that probably another 3 or 4 points and they're first or second or something, you know, like the way that 3 or 4 games, or not even 3 or 4 games, probably a couple of games. And mate, I've been very impressed with them, and I still am, yeah.
Yep, no worries. All right, so the next game we had, mate, was Coogee Oval. So Randwick 54, Hunter 26. Randwick just got the business done in this game, mate. There was no real worries for them. I mean, Hunter, they scored 2 tries at the end of the game. They were pretty much well beaten all day.
Oh, well, I think we predicted this one too, that it was going to be a long afternoon for the boys from Newcastle, and Randwick are a class outfit, and they're going to be hard to beat. And I'm just, I hate saying, I've been saying it for weeks, and I really mean it, because Newcastle have disappointed me so much in that they should be so much better than what they are, and I really expected big things from them this year. I think they were pretty happy to hear the last whistle on the weekend, Greg.
Yeah, I think they were, mate.
I don't think it's been a very good, or it's obviously not a good year for them, but I think it would have been a hard year for the players to get through. And I think they've been struggling for the last few weeks. I think they were looking for the finish line. But looks like they've got a few changes coming, right?
Yeah, well, Darren Coleman's joining for 3 years, I believe, as director of rugby, which is, I think he'll probably be helping his brother more than anything, I'd say.
What they've got to do is they've got to tap into that Newcastle competition, because there's a lot of blokes playing in that competition who aren't playing for Hunter. And because of this club loyalty, look, they've got to look at it as a rep team up there, I reckon. And I think if they get all the best players that they can up there, or most of them, they should be a real threat. And I'd love to see if they win a lot, I think the whole of Newcastle will get behind them, you know. And I just think they could be so good. I think that'd be one of the best coaching jobs to take on. And then, look, he's taken it on, but obviously because he thinks it's a viable thing. And you know, they because it's a good rugby town, they could be okay. And I really hope they go well, because I think it'd be good for rugby.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, DC's got one of the best. He's one of the best recruiters rugby's seen in the last 20 years. So I'd expect big things out of Hunter next year. Finals, maybe. I don't know.
I don't think they need to try and get guys from Sydney or anywhere else. They can probably get young fellas from the local schools and local juniors and guys out of first grade up there. And I think, you chuck 20 players into that joint, I just reckon they'd be so strong. Anyway, good luck to them. I hope they go well. But Ramwick, another good year. What was he got? What did he get? Assistant, was it? Joint coach or something?
Joint coach of the year, mate. He should have got coach of the year last year, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Not just that, we had Andrew Deegan Ken Catchpole medal. But having said that, you know, I've got to say this, Pete. Why do Ken Catchpole medals always go to 10s, it seems?
It's gone to a few 7s, and it's it's either 7s or 10s usually. But it's, you know, it's like playing quarterback in the NFL, you know. So
yeah, I suppose. But I tell you what, if Benny Houston, the captain, wasn't up there, there's something wrong.
100%. Like he's probably my favourite player in the comp, and I just think he kicks ass every week. And mate, I'd play with him any day, man.
And you know the thing about him, I like about him, there's no rubbish about him, Pete. You don't see him in there pushing and shoving and mouthing off. He just gets his job done, and mate, he's a good leader, mate. I reckon.
And you know what? He plays hard too. He ain't no pretty boy player. But he does hard work, and he likes going up the middle, and mate, he's a class act, I reckon.
No, terrific player.
How he's not playing rep football, it amazes me.
Yeah, well, hopefully someone's going to change that. So that's that. So next game was at Sydney Uni. Sydney Uni 38, Eastwood 17. Both teams missed finals. Both had so-so years, I suppose, mate, but not great years.
Wasn't that game at half time? It was like 28-0 or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, they jumped out to a big lead. I think it might have even been more than that. It was 31.
Yeah, I don't think Eastwood scored a point till about 10 minutes in the second half or something, didn't they?
Yeah, it was 31-0.
Yeah.
Then the Uni sort of dropped off after that. So
yeah, I thought Eastwood would be on a high after the week before, and I thought Uni would be on a low, and it was exactly the opposite of what I thought. So, but like Uni obviously didn't have a good year. Second year in a row, haven't made the semis, and quite frankly, up until a couple of weeks ago, they didn't look like making the semis.
Yeah, and you wonder how it looks like the coach is going to get another year, but you'd wonder how. But Eastwood, we can probably make excuses for, mate. They're a young team. They had to rebuild this year, so next year they could be a lot better.
There are a lot of Colts in the team and stuff. That I think that where they really got to do things. They got to toughen up front. I think they're really lacking in that tight five and just the physical side of games. I think they're, and I don't care how good your backs are, or you 5'8", your winger, or your goddamn fullback like McGregor and guys like that. If you're getting dished up front, it ain't happening. And I think that's where they really need. I think there's a few guys playing there at the moment. Either got to get fit and start having a real dig, or they've got to get some new blokes in there. And I'm not sure what they've got coming through, but they did show promising signs in the second half of the year. I thought, excuse me, because early on they were terrible, and they put together a few good games, and good luck to them. Where uni go, I don't know. They've got a good bunch of Colts coming through, and they've got a few teams in the semis, right, Greg?
Yeah, I think most of their lower, I think all their lower grades are in the finals, and their women's are in the finals. So
yeah, so it's like the weakest team in the comp was probably the first grade team, really. So
well, in that way, I think they might have maybe missed finals in thirds or fourths. I just can't remember.
All right.
Well,
I think all three grades of their Colts made it, right?
Yeah, they did. I think the second Colts are minor premiers. So, but they definitely, they always got good Colts coming through. So, I don't know, mate. I thought they'd be a lot better this year than they were last year, and they probably weren't. They're probably worse.
Well, no, and don't be surprised on the coaching front. It might not have happened at 5 o'clock last Saturday, but it might still happen.
Yeah. But I mean, at Eastwood,
just a thought I've got.
Yeah, mate. I think there could be legs to that, especially with other factors. I think the Eastwood coach, I think he's safe because as I said, he had to rebuild and he did all right. 6 wins, I reckon.
Well, he took it upon himself to rebuild, and because he was a Colts coach, he had half the Colts team there.
Yeah,
and in some respects it worked, and in others it didn't. And I suppose now he can have a look at himself after getting through a year and go, righto, this is what I've got. This is what I've got coming through. I think it'd be a good learning thing for him.
Yeah, and I think it was a gutsy move by him what he did. So yeah.
Oh yeah, and look, they needed some stuff done because I think they'd been sort of stagnating a little bit as well. And I think Eastwood will go better next year. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I think they'll be on the verge of the finals next year. So the next game was at Rat Park, mate. Warringah 55, South 24. Again, Warringah did what they had to do, I suppose, in this game.
Yeah, they I think we talked about it. South are always going to struggle over there. They've just run out of personnel, run out of gas, and they're pretty happy to hear the final whistle as well, I think. It's been a long year for them. And, Ringer kind of looked okay, I guess, in that game. But Ringer sort of worried me the last, what would it be, 6 or 7 weeks, Greg? What do you reckon?
Yeah, I reckon it'll be probably the last 6 weeks.
It's just sort of
up and down a bit, tapered off.
Something don't seem right. I don't know what it is, but I think I spoke about it on the last show, and it's one of those things I can't put my finger on, really. Just the way they're playing, they never seem to put a complete thing together for like even for 10 minutes in a row,
Yeah.
And I think earlier in the year they were, and they're going to need to do it this week. But look, good luck to them, and great work for Holmesy getting them there. What a great effort, and it could have been a line for Coach of the Year as well.
Yeah, no, he was close, mate. Well, he took them from 10th to 2nd in one season, so that's a bloody good effort.
Yeah, for sure.
Mate, we got to talk about our mate Joe Barakat hung up the coaching clipboard. What a bloke, mate! What a man.
Yeah, the Lebanese stallion.
Yeah,
and he the king of Hurstville.
I tell you what, he didn't miss on his way out either. He put an article in the Rugby News saying that rugby in Australia is in massive trouble and there's no quick fix, I think he's got spot on, mate.
I think you don't have to be Einstein to work that out. And
that's right.
And Joe's quite intelligent bloke, and he had the hardest job in footy, I think, this year in the Shute Shield. And look, the old club. I hate talk. Both my clubs, I've got very grave feelings for. That I'm really worried about them. I don't know how South get out of this at the moment. They've got some Colts coming through this year, but getting people to play down in the Shire is hard. It's hard to attract guys from other clubs when you've come last for 2 or 3 years almost in all 3 grades. They've got to get back to getting the good young Colts, because a couple of years ago, and I won't go into why, the club got decimated by someone, and a lot of those good young juniors, they had good young Colts coming through, which they brought from country areas and all sorts of stuff like that. Gave them apprenticeships in town and stuff like that. That they all stopped playing or left, and it's left a big hole. And the juniors down there, I know the South community down there, as soon as they start going okay, look, they'll have sponsors knocking on the door. It's just how it is down there.
Yeah.
And they get big crowds and they're very well supported. I think there's just a problem there now, and they still haven't got a coach announced for next year.
No, I haven't heard anything on that.
And you know what? And that's probably because it's a hard job to go down there and try and fix all that. And a bit like Para, you don't just need a coach, you need a good general manager, you need a board that are working in different areas. Like when I first went down there, every bloke on the board was a very successful business bloke, and they all had specific jobs to do in different areas. And that's what made and Max's job as general manager was so much easier. It wasn't just because they were bringing in money; it was just how everything got done and run, and it turned the joint around. We went from last to 5th in 1 year, and then played in 5 years of semis, and the club never really looked back till a few years ago.
Yeah, and I mean, I can't remember when they last played finals. Stu, it must be at least 5 or 6 years, maybe.
Mate, I've got to think
longer.
I've got to think it was like 2014, maybe 13, 14.
I think 14 they made. 14 they made the grand final, I think.
Was that it? I thought it might have been just before that. But look, I'm telling you, it's been 10 years. It's been a southward journey since. And I spoke to a few people there the other day, and I think I'm not sure they know what to do.
Yeah, it's a sad one, and we probably need them. We probably need them to be strong for the competition, I reckon.
Of course we do, and they're just in a position that they've put themselves in where it's hard to get out of. And like, even if you throw $1 million at South, okay, you go and buy 5 imports and probably 5 second graders, because you're not going to get anyone from other clubs to go to a club that's struggling so much. Like, like when I went there, they were coming down the bottom, but the rest of the club was pretty good, and they had a lot of play. Like, it wasn't that bad, really. They're on the bones of their arse at the moment, and I'm really worried about them. And I've spoken to people there. If there's anything I can do to help them, I will. But at the moment, I'm not sure who's running the show down there. And
no one now that Joe's gone. So.
As far as I know, I don't know who the president is, and if it's the same bloke that was there, well, anyway. And it just seems to me they're a bit rudderless ship at the moment, and that really worries me because I love the joint, you know. So
yeah, no, sad times, and everyone likes South. So.
Sad times at Foreshore Park.
That's right, mate. Yeah. So the last game, mate, was the biggest game of the round was Manly Oval. Manly 10, North 31. I wasn't expecting this result.
Hang on. Let's got to get your water. Hang on. Yeah. What was the score again at the end?
31-10. I wasn't expecting
31-10, and North scored right at the end, right? But
yeah, well, it was close for quite a while.
It was pretty close at half time. There's only a couple points in it, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then second half was virtually all North, 3 tries. So
they put we both picked Manly.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, never again. I should have known it was August, and we all know what happens to Manly in August and September. But North to me played a hell of a lot better, especially up front. Their 7 and their 8 played really well. That 7's the guy. He's the guy who's come back, right?
For North.
Yeah. He was out for a while.
No, it's the same bloke.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah, he came off the bench. Yeah, Jevons Fellows, he came off the bench.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's been out injured, so he'll be a good one.
Yeah, and the eight, I believe he played very well last year. Had sort of, I think he'd been a bit off for most of this year.
Yeah.
He lifted his game immensely. And Sinclair was there. And man, I really love that Norse prop, the loose head. He's mate, I tell you, I'd like to have a beer with him. He's all right, that kid.
Scottish bloke.
Yeah. He'd probably like a scotch.
And
you do that, you know.
Yeah, it was. I think it's the best Norse have played possibly this season in that game.
Yeah,
because Manly had a lot to play for, and just couldn't get it done, which was a shame because I'm told it was Aaron Blacklock's last home game at Manly, so he's hanging him up this year, which is a little sad to hear. So,
oh mate, well, you know, I coached Aaron since I think it was under 7s to under 16s to 17s or something. He only lives up the road from me, and I know his old man pretty well, and his mum, and his brothers, my brother, and man, I feel very responsible for his career.
Yeah, no, what a good bloke.
But he was always a handful to coach because he was just like the cheekiest little son of a bitch you could ever meet in your life, and
nothing ever changed, mate.
And he didn't like doing what he was told, and he got a few kicks in the ass and clips, I'm telling you, and he turned into a really good football player and a really good bloke, and
decent person.
Great career, Aaron.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's hope he can play. So North, mate, they end up finishing 5th, so they play Warringah this week. So they're under pressure. They've got to win, or they'll be out. And Manly's in the same boat now. They've got to play East. So, despite they won that way, they're both under pressure. If they lose, they're going to be out for the season. So,
well, geez, it cost Manly on the weekend, didn't it? Where'd they go from?
They got from 3rd to 6th.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it cost them big time.
Right.
Well, it took them away from like pretty much being safe in week 2 to being sudden death now. So, but anyway,
okay, so we're going to this week's games,
yeah. Let's look at these finals, mate, because we're
okay.
Going to be
what are they all? They're all on Saturday, right?
One's on Sunday.
Oh, the Ramwick Gordon game, right?
No, Warringah North is on Sunday.
Oh, that's on Sunday, is it? Okay.
So we've got East and Manly at Wallara. That's at Saturday.
That's 3 o'clock.
3:05, and Ramwick and Gordon at Coogee 3:10.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, mate, I can't remember a year where we've probably had 3 finals as good as this. I mean, they could
potentially
any of these 6 could win the comp, mate. Well, maybe not Manly.
You were telling me about the scenarios the other day. Like, we went to the Randwick Gordon game, 4 or 5 weeks ago. Probably the best game of rugby I'd seen for a couple of years.
Yeah, at least.
And either team could have won it. Randwick got away with it. I think it was only a couple of points, right?
Yeah.
Now, you're telling me potentially one of these two can get knocked out.
Well, put it this way, if Manly beat East and say Norse, let's say this first, right? So if Norse beat Warringah, the loser of Randwick and Gordon would be out. That's stupid, isn't it?
This is really stuffed up, this semi-final thing.
This top six this has got to be the end of it, because it's bullshit. And I mean, what's even more stupid, if Manly beat East and Norse beat Warringah, then the loser Randwick and Gordon goes and Warringah goes. Well, how do you get knocked out of a semi-finals if you finish second? Something seems wrong there.
They've got to bring back the final 5. It was the best semi-final series, and it takes one more week than what they're doing now.
Yeah, that's right. It's 4 weeks.
And you know what? It favoured those who finished in the top 3. And if you came 4th or 5th, you had to do it the hard way.
Yeah. So
what's wrong with that?
Let's nail it down. Let's look at East and Manly, mate. I mean,
all right.
So East, the only team that's guaranteed to be there week 2. Now, I've all week I've thought Manly had got a chance here too, because they've beaten East a few times. They've actually beaten East this year.
I thought they did, didn't I? Was that at Wallara or Manly?
Did they play at Manly?
Okay.
So they
beat them quite convincingly, didn't they?
Yeah, and they've beaten East before in recent years at Wallara. So, I think this game's I mean, one thing you don't want to see. I know Manly got a bad history in finals, but what I've seen this year of Manly is when their backs are against the wall, they actually can pull something out.
And one good thing going from, they played pretty ordinary last week, to a certain extent. They usually do like week about sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe this is their good week. And the coach probably got out of therapy on Sunday night or something. Because I'll tell you what, if they don't shout him a holiday or something after the season, I'm telling you, he said, that poor bastard. I'm telling you. Look, on paper, I ran through the teams. What do you reckon? You think Manly got their best team on the paddock?
Yeah, I think if you ever look at Manly, apparently they've got obviously one thing I'm disappointed with in the shoot shielders is they don't give us the bench. They name the teams, but we don't see the bench, because I'm
especially
told
semis.
Yeah, I'm told that Manly have got a few on the bench there. Manly's pretty much at full strength there, mate. Aaron,
is that Daly going to be? Is that Daly still around? Or is he out? Or
I think he's going home, mate.
Oh, did he? Jeez, they could have used him this time of year, I'll tell you. Jeez, I thought he was a good player.
Just trying to have a look. He wasn't there. Haven't seen him for a few weeks, so whether he's been pulled back home by his boys. But Aaron apparently is a fresh reserve. I have heard that this week.
I thought he was starting.
No, I've named the other guy, Patterson, he's starting. And obviously East look bloody, they look really strong. So
yeah, they're loaded, eh?
And that's not even, we can't even see the bench there, mate. So when you got a Wallaby starting on the wing, or Wallaby hasn't played yet, but
I think the weather's supposed to be pretty good. So, and they're playing on carpet.
Yeah.
I think this game might come down to if Manly, like they did early in this season, I thought their tight 5 were really muscled up front, and like their forwards, actually all of them, they played tough, and then they kind of went off the ball a bit. I'm not certain East are that tough up front. I think the way Manly might be able to get at them is to really be physical up front and play it a bit tighter, not trying to play too expansive and build them up the middle, close balls, inside balls, that sort of thing, and some field position, for God's sake, you know. And at that ground, it bounces and runs, and, you know, I don't know. What do you reckon, Greg?
Well, I'm tipping Manly. For no other reason, I just see their backs against the wall, and they've had all these years, you know, won a final for nearly 10 years. It's got to happen eventually, mate, you know, and I think that the way they're going to beat East is with their defence. If they can defend, because I don't think East handle too well when teams defend well against them.
They particularly don't defend like close to the ruck and one pass, like with guys running onto it. Especially in their 22, they don't seem to like the trench warfare too much.
I just think, yeah, sure, it's a big day. It's a real challenge going to Wallara. East are going to have their supporters out everywhere. It's going to be full house. It's going to be a challenge, but well, it's sudden death, mate. You can't leave anything out there, right?
Well, it's sudden death for Manly, isn't it?
Yeah, sudden death for Manly, and I wonder whether East might slip into that mindset and knowing, well, it doesn't matter if we win or lose, we're going to be playing next week.
That's a point. Yeah. That's a point. Everyone hates us. No one likes us.
Oh, well, apparently they've got that going. Better eat worms.
Look, I'll put you down as going for Manly. The problem I got
is ever tipping him again.
Is I just had a look at the calendar and it's August, and next month September, and I remember beating them in both months, and I think everyone else has played them in semis as well. I don't know. The springtime thing just don't agree with them. And, look, I reckon for Manly to win this week, they would have to play the best they've played this year, probably.
The other thing that sort of sways me too, Pete, is that during the year, Manly have beaten Warringah, they've beaten Randwick, and they've beaten North during the season. And I think they lost by 2 points to East. Actually, I thought they'd beat them. It was 18-16. It's a tough game.
They were a bit stiff in that game too, I think.
Yeah, I think they had a very ordinary referee in that game. But yeah, I mean, I think they're definitely East's favourites in the game. Let's be honest with the current form. And but I think, you know, Manly, Hunter Ward obviously is the key for Manly.
He needs a huge game, really. And you know what? There isn't too many weeks when he doesn't play very, very well, you know. So.
And obviously for East, they're 9 and 10 is the standout, mate, with Teddy Wilson and Jack Bowen.
I think they can both be upset if you get physical with them.
Yeah, that's right.
Particularly at 5'8". I think he tends to lose a plot if he gets whacked a few times. So
yeah,
you know, I hope that's in Manly's game plan to go up the guts against them. But
I'd definitely take them.
You're making me think to tip Manly, and I'm thinking of the curse.
Or you just can't bring yourself to tip East, mate.
They've done it too many times. Every time I've tipped them this year, they've lost, I think.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'd like to see Manly win because I think it'd make the comp more interesting.
Oh, it's going to... If they win, it's going to turn the comp on its head.
Well, you know, East is still going to be there, but that'll mean Manly is still there, so that'll make it interesting.
Yep.
Do I think they're going to win? No, I'm going for East.
Okay, no worries.
Only because I'd like to see Manly win, but I tell you what, if there was any money involved, there's no way I'd be going. But
yeah, that's right. That's right.
Fuck it, I'll go for Manly. Nah. Okay. Manly, this is the last time ever in history I'm making documentation of this. It's on TV.
Yep.
Let me down this time, it's all over.
And you know what? The last thing I'll say about this game, Pete, is they need to start well. But they're not a team that will come from behind. They need to play from in front.
And they one thing I reckon they've got to do, and I see it even when they play well, they make some really crazy errors. Like
they've got to keep that down.
Knocking on balls at backs or rucks, or missing a line out with a bad throw 5 yards out, or they'd be dominating the scrum, and then they just get pushed off the frigging thing when they're 5 yards out from the line, or just kicking out in the foot. Just simple things. They've got to kind of be more mistake free, and to beat East, they're going to have to play like that.
That's right. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. I think it's going to be a great game. You're talking about the referee. That's James Quinn tomorrow, so that's all right. He's a good ref.
Yeah, he's all right.
All right, so this is
who are the linesmen?
Blind Freddie
they're
one
probably
and two.
Sometimes they're more of a worry than the goddamn referee.
Yeah, that's it. Mate, what about the next one? What about Coogee Oval, Randwick and Gordon again? Mate, they only played there 6 weeks ago, so wow. Here we go.
You go.
Mate, I don't know what to do here. I've changed my tip 5 times this week. And I tell you what, both teams look, mate, I look at both their team lists and I go, they could be premiers, those two teams. And I'm just sad there has to be a loser in this game.
Well, the problem's going to be, like I would have thought that those two teams would be in the next round of semi-finals just on the way they played this year, and it might not turn out like that. So it's pretty much a grand final for these blokes.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, and you look at the game, Pete, look, Gordon have got a good thing to go with them because, like you said, and when they played before, they didn't play their style of game. They didn't kick the ball enough. So they'll learn from that. I
hope they do, because if they'd played their normal style of football in that really, really, really good game we went to, we've commented like how that was one of the best games of club rugby I've seen for I don't know how many years. They got stuck in, and it was a real contest. What was it? 16-14 or something.
15-11 or something.
Yeah, something like that. Oh, there's only a couple points in it.
And then, and we remember back on the reflection round, we got a penalty in the last minute of the game, and they'd probably didn't deserve. So
No, that's the way it went. But I think if Gordon stick to their principles, they'll go okay. After I just think Randwick, their 5'8's just such a good player and steering around the park, and goal kicking. I don't know. What happens if it's a draw?
Well, if it's a draw, I think they don't play extra time until the grand final. So the highest player, Randwick could go through.
They better for and against or something, didn't they?
Yeah, they were third, so and fourth, so they could go through. But I honestly don't know about a tip. I mean, I'm probably leaning towards Randwick, but not by much.
Okay.
It's going to be a cracker, mate. Like you look at Randwick, like they got the two Houston brothers are playing, so Big Angus, he's back in, so that's a good one. Tom Nolan, Mitch Short at 9. I mean, they've got their backline stacked, mate. Yasmin and Riley, they're full strength basically. I believe. Young Ellis at 7, good player.
I think Gordon can win it, but I just think a Coogee on the back of Houston and D, I think that Houston, he'll just have another big game. Their front row is playing sensational football. couple of their props have just had really good years, and the hooker's a good player when he's playing. Although I think Gordon can win the game, I'll probably go around.
Yeah, and I mean, this game to me is highlighted by the two captains that are playing number 8, and they're both bloody good players and tough. And
Exactly.
mate, and they're going to both have good benches as well.
Yeah.
I think I'm trying to remember, mate. I just wanted to let you know. I think they're playing each other in second grade as well. So that says a lot about it.
Oh, cool. As I remember it, that week we were out at Coogee, that game was pretty tight too. In second grade, it was only Gordon ended up winning, didn't they?
Yeah, 1 point.
Yeah.
I know they don't play each other, but they're both in the finals in second grade.
Okay.
But they play North in second. But
right.
Mate, you look at Gordon too. I mean, he's got Harry Henry starting at 9. He's probably, could have played the other guy just as easy.
He's a good player.
I'm not sure about this. I'm not sure about this Pat Pellegrini they brought in to play 10. I'm just not sure about that move, whether that's the right one.
I like the bloke they had before.
Yeah, Pollock. Yeah, he's at fullback now.
Yeah.
But man, they got a big forward. I mean, got Jack Margin, big Jack Margin for Gordon, mate, playing his 100th first grade game this week. So that's a bloody.
Oh, it's good for him. Well done, boy.
Big unit, he is.
Yeah.
Mate, it's going to be a cracking game, mate. I just think if you're around Coogee tomorrow,
get in there,
get out there.
Yeah.
If you can get in, because it's going to be full.
Yeah. I suggest a lot of the Gordon faithful will get down there as well.
Oh, beyond.
They should, because this Gordon team, I think, deserve a lot of support because I think they've played really good footy this year, and they've been a good team to watch every week. And you know what? Even if that game was at Chatswood tomorrow, it'd be huge as well. And
yeah, that's right.
If it was at Chatswood tomorrow, I'd probably go. But I can't get to Coogee tomorrow. But anyway, I'm going Randwick in a disputed decision.
Yeah,
and I wouldn't count a draw out of this. I'm going to bracket that in the middle.
Yeah, I think it's going to be extremely close. Ironically, they've got the same referee they had the last time they played. Let's hope he's a bit better.
Well, he went all right for about 65 and a half minutes or something, and then he
kind of lost
some freak out or something. But,
yeah, I think he's a good referee, though. But
they do that.
I think it was just one decision that he clearly got wrong. So
yeah. Anyway,
that can happen. He's human, eh?
That's right.
So, mate, so that would be Saturday. So on Sunday,
yeah,
we'll talk about this game, but it's going to have what happens tomorrow is going to have massive ramifications for this game, right? Because Warringah and North, it could be sudden death depending what happens tomorrow.
Yeah,
it's going to be sudden death for North anyway. Warringah and North.
If North win, they're okay.
Yeah, that's right. If North win, they're okay, and well, at least they'll both know what they've got to do.
Yeah,
that's going to be an advantage.
Yep.
Like if, for instance, if Manly lose, will Warringah know they're going to be there the week after anyway? So. But
I reckon on form, I'd be picking Norse. But I was talking to a few Norse people last week who were at Manly Oval actually, and Norse played a lot better. But I hate harping on it, but they've still got problems at 10. That kid ran sideways all day, was throwing balls on the ground. He just wasn't playing direct at all. He looked so out of sorts to me. I'm really worrying about the way he's playing footy at the moment, especially when you can't throw a pass to a bloke next to you and in front and behind, on the ground, up in the air. and he seems like his first movement's always sideways instead of going forward. And,
yeah.
I don't know whether anyone's got up him this week to take that out of his game. He wasn't doing that last year, and that's a bit of a worry for me. What do you reckon, Greg?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I don't know. I think it's a massive game for Warringah because they kind of struggled for people to believe in them all year.
Yeah.
Apart from their own people, and this is a game where they've got to make a statement. Looking at their team,
it'll be packed out there on Sunday, man. I'm telling you, that'll be the biggest crowd of the year.
Mate, we just quietly we might even go, mate. We'll see how we're looking.
Yeah, Sunday's looking okay for me. I'll go to church in the morning and then I'll head out there, right?
I've already put the application in, so that's been semi-approved. So I'll push that. But yeah, like Warringah's got Ben Maher at 15, Tyson Davis back in. Mate, they look strong. Big Sam Thompson's back, and North looks strong as well, mate. So
yeah, it's the best North have looked this year, I think. And Warringah, like they've got a few guys back, and I think they've had a few like recently. It's just the thing about Warringah that worry me is just the way they've been playing, how they've been off the boil and have 10 minutes of really erratic stuff and mistake-riddled things and soft tries, and then they'll come good and they'll score a try from nowhere and stuff. I don't know whether that scoring a try from nowhere wins your semi-finals. You kind of I think you have to be a little bit more consistent. And Warringah need, I reckon, severely to be strong up front and consistent all day.
Yeah.
And like their hooker needs to have a real big game, and I think their two props have to lift their work rate.
Yeah.
And their 5'8" is another one I think who needs to be doing a little bit more proactive stuff rather than just pinging it. And Ma's always going to come in and create some things. And sometimes that catches him out too if he makes a mistake. But that's the thing that worries me about Warringah, just their inconsistency. So this will be a good test for their club to see where they're at, I reckon, if they can lift to this game, And at home, in front of probably the biggest crowd that's going to be there, probably all year, I reckon. Nice day on a Sunday, Warringah. I'm telling you, they'll be on the rafters out there.
Yeah, I guess in this game, for me, like the thing that Warringah they're up against is that Norths have got that finals experience, mate. They've been there so many years.
Yeah.
They were there last year. They know what they've got to do to get it done.
Yeah.
I'm told that Gary Bortz is going to be on the bench, I believe.
That's a real good thing for them.
And Hugh Sinclair's playing. Sam Kitchen is playing his 150th grade game, so he's been well longer than I thought.
Well done, yeah.
Yeah, but what you're saying about the North 5'8", mate, that's an issue we can't hide away from. It's just been there every week to see. And I know Parksy was a bit nice about it last week, but
mate, quite frankly, last week North's win comfortably if he had made so many mistakes, I reckon. He just looks out of sorts to me. He looks like he's lacking confidence, and particularly when you need your 5'8" to be taking the ball forward, and all he's doing is running sideways and shuffling it on, and they could be cannon fodder, and I think if he can lift his game and play to the standard he was last year, I think Norths could win this game, and I'm going to pick them.
Yeah, it's a hard one. Like, I really don't like tipping against the Rats at home, and ever. But I also don't like tipping against Norths in a final. So it's a tough one.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go on out in the limb, mate. I'm going to tip the Rats because otherwise Holmesy will come looking for me. Especially if we go out there, I better tip them.
It's nothing personal.
Nothing personal. Mate, you're a big bloke. You can get away with it. I don't know if I can.
Yeah,
No, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a cracking game. Mate,
I think it'll be a good game. Yeah, for sure.
I think we got 3 finals that are going to be extremely
Mm.
tough and competitive and potential.
Oh, for sure. And you know what? That's how it's supposed to be. And like these 6 teams have been the ones that have been there for all year, and they're the best 6 teams in the comp, and they're playing each other, and maybe not in the right order, you know, maybe, but you know what it means? It just means you got to win. You get in the semis. You want to win the comp, you got to win 3 games. It doesn't matter who you are. So,
well, that's part of. That's what my thinking's always been. I always had the belief myself. You should have to win a semi-final to deserve to be there the next week, really.
Well, and when it all comes down to it, even to get in the grand final, even if you get a week off or you've lost a game, you still got to win one to get in there. So,
yeah, so you just need to win.
In a lot of ways, apart from East, who are guaranteed a second hit, every other team has to win.
Yeah.
I've never gone into a semi-final, even if you know you've got a second chance, that you don't put it in because you got a second chance. That's bullshit.
Yeah, and you know, one last thing I'll say about this game too. I think Norths are going to have a problem at the breakdown because the 7 for Ringo, Zach Barnabas, he's had something like 35 pilfers this year at the breakdown. So
well,
they're going to target
the 7 and 8 really picked up for Norths last week, and I'd suggest that if their coach is smart, if they're having trouble at the breakdown, they're going to have to bring Borts on early.
Yeah, I think so.
Just to get amongst it, you know.
Because Warringah are going to really target.
Slow ball, you know, because that's one thing he'll give you. He'll be all over it every time, you know.
And there was a little bit of good news there too, mate. Zach Beery signed for another 2 years for North. So he's been one of their longest serving coaches now. He's been like 5. It's been about 5.
Yeah, good luck to him. And I mean, look, he's been very successful too. And
good,
you know, in that time, you know, they were every chance of winning the comp last year. And you know, look, when you finish at the top all the time, you're obviously doing something right. And of course, look, Norths are a very good organisation. I've got a lot of people I know over there, and from when Jake was playing there, and I'll tell you, they're a very good club, and I got a lot of time for them.
Yeah. So anyway, that'll be a big weekend, mate. One of the biggest weekends of the year. Just before we go, we might just quickly touch on the Wallabies.
Ooh.
So we play in Perth against South Africa. Springboks have made 10 changes, mate. Is that a disrespect thing, or what do you reckon? Or is he just, I don't know.
Well, are you sure the 10 they're bringing on are the seconds, Blakes? Because I just think they got such a good squad. Like I really thought in that first test there, they did that in second gear, and the second half they basically shut up shop with 20 to go. I just think we got out-muscled, outclassed. There was a vast difference between those two teams, I thought. And I thought they did it easy. And I'm not sure it's a disrespectful. I'm not sure. Because I guarantee you the blokes they pick will come out and they'll be just as ferocious. But for us to get close, we're going to have to really pick it up, I think.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm trying to find the team, but they definitely made a whole lot of changes, and they brought in a lot of guys that I don't know, mate. So I'm assuming they're like this the next wave of players. I mean, or probably going to be good players, aren't they? So,
well, I just think going into their system and the way they've been playing, they're not world champions for nothing. And they obviously got confidence in these blokes, and they don't give up test jumpers easy. And they obviously think it's the time to do it. And have we made many changes ourselves?
Not a whole lot, mate. Angus Bell starting at prop. Josh Nasser at hooker. He's a new guy. Apart from that, the rest of the pack is the same. Nick White starting at 9. That Marika Korobidi, he's back in.
Yeah.
The rest of the back line's the same. Good thing here, mate. You might have known his dad, Max Jorgensen, making his debut
Yeah, I
off
did.
the bench.
Yeah.
Would have known his
Yeah, I
dad.
knew his old man played against him and played with him, I think. But I just thought we looked like we didn't know how to score in that game. It's like we just kept running to brick walls. I didn't really like the style of play we went on with, but I really think they shut up shop, mate. I think it could have got really ugly if they got fair income in the last 20, and it was a worry, but I think it was a good it was a good thing in a way. It shows you how far you got to go to get in touch with the really good teams at the moment. Them and the Blacks will be good. Don't worry. Don't worry about the results you've seen so far. They'll be kick ass when we play them.
I still don't know how do the Blacks lose to Argentina, mate. I can't get over that.
Yeah, well, I guarantee it probably won't happen again. And,
I mean, you have we said 10 changes. Have a look at this, mate. I've just found their team. A whole lot of new blokes. Have a look at the bench, mate. The bench, right? So you got Malcolm Marks. So he's played 68 tests. You got two props on the bench, 32 and 53 tests. Eben Etzebeth, the big lock, he's on the bench. Quagga Smith, bloody Andre Pollard. Mate, it'll be the opposite last week. They'll smash us probably in the second half. But I mean, probably. What I was trying to say before was like, because we're coming from such a low base from last year, it's a good thing for our boys to see what the step up has to be.
Exactly. And I bet they've probably watched that video 100 times this week, and it just, well, yeah, it's a wake up call, and look, it wasn't all bad.
No,
they had a go and everything. They were just outclassed, and it wasn't as if they were terrible. Really, it was just we just weren't good enough, and we didn't have the answers. And there's only one way you can go, and that's up. And I expect a lot better showing this week.
I'll tell you one thing they can improve on. Watch the blind side. I mean, the Blacks scored 2 tries on the blind side in that game.
Yeah, well,
your favourite play, mate.
That's look. Improving your defences is probably the easiest thing you can do in a game of football, and moving up on both sides and marking both sides, it ain't rocket science. And you'd expect guys at that level of football not to let those sort of tries in, really.
But I'd expect a much improved performance. I'm not sure we can win the game, mate, but I think we'll be a lot better. I think it'll be closer.
Yep.
And I'd expect a big improvement. And I think we're growing, mate. I think we're growing.
Yeah, it's not all lost,
No.
There's no worse than the way we were going, that's for sure. If anything, it was better. So, yeah, good luck to them, and hope they get up on the weekend.
That's it. Well, mate, that's us this week.
All right, we're done.
See how the finals go, mate. It's going to be
it's been a great season so far, and thanks to everyone for watching and stuff. And next year will be bigger and better. Don't worry about that.
That's for sure. And we might have a surprise coming up too. I'm hoping to get Joe on one of these in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, cool.
So he can give his insight, but we'll confirm that. We might hoping to get Parksy back for the grand final preview.
Yeah, well, I'll get him. He's a very busy man, and he's probably getting makeup done right now. So
the male model from Edinburgh or something, isn't it?
Oh no, he's like, practicing for tomorrow TV or something.
He's good on the TV, I must say.
Parksy's a great bloke, and he was a great player, and geez, I enjoyed playing with him. It was really, really funny.
He's a great fella. Great player.
Great time.
I think we're and just reminding everyone to please like and subscribe our YouTube channel. And
Yep.
just to let you know a bit of news in the off season, we'll be ramping up our Yesterday's Heroes podcast. We've already got who we got so far. We got Poito said he's going to do it, mate.
Yeah, Porto.
We'll
I might have Steve Libri coming up. I'm looking at Pee Wee. I might try and get Tiny because I've got to go to a reunion and I might be able to get a few blokes for that one. We might have to do live crosses to the pub.
Maybe early in the night, not too much later in the night, mate.
Actually, it'd be probably better later in the night.
Making more sense out of it. We might. I've been telling Muncher I'm going to drag him on here one day, but we'll see how we go.
Yeah, he'll just sit there like a mute. I'll have to come on, be like a puppet, you know. Anyway.
Well, anyway, everyone, if you're going to go Rat Park on Sunday, look out for us. We're hopefully going to go.
All good.
But we'll see you next week, too.
All right. See you, folks. Get this in you.
Yeah, mate.